YouTube, what's going on? It's Christopher. Today we're going to look at a piece of bass gear that I think is pretty awesome, and you need to know about it because it's awesome. We're going to look at the Dug Pinnick pedal from Tech 21. It's pretty cool. If you want to get that grindy tone that Doug uses in all the King's X songs, this does it rather well, but you can tailor it to do not so much distortion and really get an awesome sound out of your bass. So as you saw, I'm playing my Ibanez. Love this bass. It's active. So I'm actually going to use it in the passive mode. So it's not, the pickups, let me rephrase, the pickups are not passive, but it has an active EQ. So I'm going to use it in the passive EQ mode, so I just have a tone knob, so that it's going to be similar to most of the basses that Fender puts out or whatever. But I'm going to use it in passive mode. I've always liked the sound of this bass in passive mode, so there. But yeah, let's get to it. We're going to look right at this Dug Pinnick pedal that I have plugged into my TC Electronic BG250. This is what my amp settings are right now. So you can see I've got the gain halfway up. The bass is just a little bit after halfway. The mids are before halfway. The treble is all the way up. It looks like I'm using a tone print. Let's shut that off. My master is up about there. And then we got the Dug pedal, which is here. So we've got volume, chunk, high, mid, low, compression, and drive. Then there's a gain button. There's a shift button, which changes the frequency of your mids from 325 to 7 something. Let me see. I'll look it up in the manual so it's absolutely correct. Oh, where is it? The shift. It goes from 325 hertz when it's in to 700 hertz when it's out. Then there's a headphones. If you prefer to use it with the headphones, there's an XLR out, which is over here on the side, right there, so you can direct to the board or to recording in or whatever you want to use it for. It's got a built-in tuner over here, which works really good. It's got a gain button. In gives you a considerable boost in gain. We're going to try out first so you can see. And the way the pedal works is, obviously I got a signal coming from my bass amp when it's turned off. So what I have my bass amp set to is what my tone is. Now when I turn it on, it's going to turn on everything except for the chunk and except for the drive. So the chunk and the drive are not going to come on. Right? So you see those guys are not illuminated. So you can kind of set the preamp on this to however you want. I have it set so it sounds fairly similar to what my amp sounds like, just with a little bit of a boost. The compression is extremely sensitive. I have it just before halfway. It sounds pretty good like that. But here's what I'm getting for a tone without turning on the chunk and the gain. Now if I turn those on, you use this mix button, and now they're illuminated in red. That's how you can tell they're turned on. And now you got a pretty awesome, beefy So you get a really awesome, chunky distortion sound. So when you're playing on those hard rock tunes, it'll just fill and sound more aggressive. Without it, now with nothing on, so I love it with it on. The way that I have it set, it trims some of the highs out, because they can get pretty aggressive with this pedal. The highs are what give you that really chunky gain. In fact, that's what the chunk knob kind of does. If you turn the chunk all the way off, kind of sounds like you threw a blanket over your amp. And as you slowly turn it up, it basically gives you a crazy high-end presence that enhances the gain channel a bit. So it makes the distortion that's happening a little more prevalent. So that chunk knob, you'd think like low end, but it's actually, you know, the chunk increases the high end of this pedal when you turn it up. So I like it a little before the halfway point. So you still get those thumping lows, although to compensate for that, the low control on this is pretty amazing. So if I crank the lows, I'm not sure how much you're going to hear the difference through my little camera here, but it's wailing out the lows. I can see on the screen it's shaking it pretty good. That's insane. So the lows really jump out. The compressor, again, it's funny. Down here you hear how thin it gets. You turn it up a tiny bit, and it really jumps out at you. I like it right about there. Now, all of this is being done without the gain switch pushed in. When you engage this gain, it's crazy distortion. It's a lot more distortion. But it sounds ballsy. It sounds really cool. That's going to cut in a rock band pretty amazingly. I kind of like it with the gain shut off for a little bit more of a subtle distortion. And of course the tuner on here, if you turn it on, bypasses everything. So now you can just hear, oh, my E string's a little out. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm an idiot. So when you're sharp, the arrow above comes on. When you're flat, the arrow below. It makes sense. So now as I bring this up, there's my E. Little sharp on the D. Good. So it's an awesome bypass. And then you're back on. So you really got to play with this too, because I don't know if you can tell, but when the mix is off, it's almost like my mids get boosted a bit. And then when I turn this on, it feels like the mids get scooped, but at the same time your highs go up. So that's good. That's set pretty much what my amp is set to. So you can kind of use this in 3 modes. You can use it without it. And then when you turn it on, right now I got this set pretty much at legacy, so it's the same volume if it's on as my amp is when it's off. But I'm only touching this volume a little bit, so if I turn this up, it gets a lot louder really quick. So you can use it as a boost too. You can use it here and boost your signal up. Hear how that jumps? So what's good is it remembers that your mix is turned on or off. So you can see if I turn it on, my mix is engaged, right? So you can set it as a boost with, or a boost without, and then turn it on for a kind of like a triple effect. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with this pedal. I'm looking forward to hearing how this sounds in my band. It's actually not my pedal. I ordered it for my bass player in my band, 1,000 Pound Katana. And I think it's going to do us a big favor because, you know, we play hard rock music, and I think this is going to help our mix overall. Amazing pedal. I hope you dug it. Wink, wink. But let me know in the comments what you think. I think this pedal's amazing. I can't wait to hear it in the band. Yeah. That's it from Chris Tompkins land. So Dug Pinnick pedal from Tech 21. I like it. I give it a thumbs up. There she is. And we'll see you on the next video, YouTube. Peace.